Live.
Alrighty, we are back once again. Thanks for hanging with us. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but thanks for hanging around. I do believe that we missed a couple 40K pots that went in Doug Polk's direction. Producer Eric and producer Carlin do believe they have a replay ready to go of a massive pot. So
Okay.
if you guys can show us that, that would be fantastic. And here is this pot. Queen, queen, four, rainbow. Negreanu leads small. Polk makes the call. King on the turn. Negreanu check raised to 18K. Polk made the call. Negreanu checked. Polk shoves river. And Negreanu folds.
I believe I got the right job.
Oh, yeah. The link in the chat is the one that you want to click on. The one that I want to bring over here, I think.
Tough times. Tough times.
Tough times. I am the absolute nut low when it comes to technology, but thanks to our guys.
Oh, you and me both, brother.
Our mods, yeah, they make us look all right. They're like, you guys just sit there and talk. Please don't do anything else. We're like, okay, that's about all we can do. Here we go.
DNegs sitting out. Maybe the last break of the day, around about 3 hours and 20 minutes into today's session. DNegs down around about 4 binds, I believe, if my math is correct, for those pots that we missed whilst we were away.
Jeff Platt, Henry Kilbane with you. Thank you all for being here with us. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we do believe we're back, and we're maybe back just in time for the end of the session. I don't know. Could be a quick break for Negreanu. Could just be a quick banana/bathroom break, or it could be done for the day. So we'll see. If they are done for the day, then we will have Daniel Negreanu joining us for his exclusive post-match interview. We are also keeping an eye on the World Series of Poker main event on GG. That main is now down to 15. WSOP main event final table list. Damian Salas is the chip leader. That's great. Bruno Albuquerque is in 4th. Your boy Chris.
He's hanging. He's
hanging in there. He's in 11th. I mean, this is quite the final table bubble.
Yeah, he's no stranger to hanging in there. Yeah, I believe he had a very good run during the WSOP on GG. Came second for something like 400K.
Yeah, I saw his name pop up a frequent amount.
Yeah, won a WPT at the start of the year as well. So he's had a good year. He's had a good year. Man, Randall H, you and I need to go for some drinks wherever it is that you are. Whenever I come across the pond to America, Henry has a resting face that looks like he's playing Minesweeper and losing. You are.
That's good. Randall's been creative.
He's been very creative with some of his comments today. It's actually quite impressive.
He said when we were frozen due to the technical difficulties that the stream's going as well as Jeff's Tinder dates. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Renster, Salas is the slow player. No, Salas is the very, 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 very slow player. That's Damian Salas.
It makes sense now. Randall's Australia, mate. Brisbane. Fucking A, mate. That
good day, mate.
It makes sense now. Papsky said, can I come too, Henry? You're all invited.
Yeah, you're all welcome.
Me and Jeff will do a post high stakes feud meetup where we'll all play 1-1 and 2-2 PLO, and the min buy-in isn't a dollar amount. It's Jägermeisters, and the minute buy-in is around about 5.
Jägermeisters, I'm way out. But if we can have the Henry side of the table with the Jägermeisters, my side of the table with tequila, then now we're talking a little bit.
You drink tequila. You hate yourself, Jeff. Do you just enjoy hangovers?
No, I tequila, the absolute dream combo is the tequila Topo Chico, that mineral water. And I could drink those all day and not get hungover. If I had 2 Jägermeisters, I'd be done for 3 days.
Oh man, no, don't know about that. Paul Ann said, Henry, whereabouts in England are you from, fella? Originally from Ealing in London. Haven't resided in the UK for my entire professional poker career. Which I would like to think is around about 11 years. So I quit school. I was like 15, started playing professionally around that time. But there were many ups and downs along the way. We had to work as a food delivery driver, as a barman, couple of times. We went bust though, to just rebuild the role.
Yeah.
Get paid on the Sunday, head down to the casino on the Monday, lose the 2.5 buy-ins again. Call your boss up. Hey, sorry mate, can I come and deliver some pizzas for you? Yeah, sure. Come on then. We'll give you £7 an hour plus £1 per delivery. Sounds good. Has to be done.
Good question from Harrison. Jeff, is there a hand that stands out as crucial so far in the Grudge match? There's not really a specific hand to me, and Henry, I don't know if you think differently, but I do know that, I guess if you were to point to a couple, there were a couple rivered full houses by Doug Polk over flushes, and then they played a massive pot where I believe Negreanu turned the king high flush when Polk turned the ace high flush, and that turned out to be a pretty significant one as well.
Nut flush for a second nut flush in a heads up NL is
God.
Depending on what side of the coin you're on, it's either the thing that dreams are made of or nightmares are made of. Just unavoidable modern day callers. There's been a lot of overpair versus flop top pairs in these 4-bet pots, where it's almost impossible to get away from. Thinking back to the live match, just trying to recall. I remember Daniel getting a bluff through, and Doug almost immediately. I remember him just folding the 10s, and he didn't like it, and then Daniel started chuckling. Doug shows out. I don't like that. I don't like that. He's like, old man speeding, get one through. There's been a few, man. I'm sure there's going to be, a ton of highlight videos once the entire match is over and done with all of the all-in hands and showdowns.
Yeah, Apple Juice. There was a hand where Daniel had the 7 high flush, Doug had the 5 high flush. That was a massive pot.
Yeah, I believe biggest pot of the match so far, if I'm not mistaken. Came through the back door as well. Stacks went flying in. See, that's the type of hand in a live game where it gets all in and you announce flush. You've got the 7 high flush. Your opponent announces flush. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then they
just muck.
They table the 6 and like, ooh. Got away with one.
ZA, I wish they played half online and half live. Well, that won't be the case, but they will be back in the live arena when they're close to the halfway point, when they're close to 12,500 hands. The plan is for them to be back in the Poker Go studio.
Has that been confirmed?
Yes, confirmed by Brent Hanks, Director of Programming at Poker Go, and also you see him on commentary here. So confirmed to a degree.
All right.
I think he did say if it was close around that time, they'd bring him back. But maybe he was talking about the ending. If the ending was close, they would bring them, like the end to the whole high stakes feud.
Yeah, I'd love to see them return to the live film at some point.
Yeah.
Ideally, I'd want it to be a little bit closer than it currently is. So if Daniel can, start winning some buy-ins back, make it nail biting, that would be a ton of fun, especially if there's like 200k in it going into the live match.
Camille says there are not fast enough dealers to do this. Well, yes, obviously it would take a lot longer to get through the hands. And they play about 200 hands in the live sessions, which about 5-ish hours. Again, they both play pretty quickly, both online and live. It's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, no nonsense. I think the first 5 hands, they both agreed, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel was like, oh, if I throw in the purple chip, can we just make it so that it's, you know, a raise to 1K rather than me having to announce it? They kept it very fast, and yeah, none of that unbearable tanking for 15 hours and, you know, you got time to go make a cup of tea and cook a meal for the family. It was, you know, fast paced.
It's very fast paced. Matthew Rock, besides poker, and I know Jeff likes his sports betting, do you guys play any other casino games? I play a little video poker. What about you, Henry?
Yeah, I was definitely a DGen very early on in my career. Like, I just had this disgusting habit of losing like 10 big blinds in a session, so basically break even, and then being like, right, I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna get out the hole playing roulette. Then,
I'm sure that always went well.
Yeah, then, you know, a couple of hours later, no more roll.
Yeah,
that happened a couple of times, but no, like now it's just more sociable. Kevin, I play some slot games with Kevin Mathers during the WSOP on break. You know, we'll just go and, you know, sip on some cocktails and dust off, you know, 20-30 bucks on the slots. Just, yeah, more sociable stuff.
I agree. I have some friends in town. I'll go, you know, play craps or blackjack with them, but nothing crazy. Now I could sit at a bar forever and play video poker, have some cocktails, living the dream. Joey says, sup, Jeff? Fat Bob here, loving the stream. Fat Bob from Twitch is in the building. What's up, Joey? Good to see you. Joey's been sweating the live streams of the WSOP main event on GG, which I plan to do tonight, but I think we're going to run out of time for that one. It's just 15 players are left in the main, and they're playing down to 9, and the average stack is about 25 bigs at this point.
Dave said, Henry, Luck Longley or Andrew Bogut? I'm going to say Luck Longley, mate. Or Luke Longley, if I'm maybe pronouncing that wrong.
Luke Longley, yeah, Luke Longley. Center for the Chicago Bulls. Back in the day.
It's the only team well, not the only team I've watched play live, but the only stadium that I've been to.
The Bulls Stadium in Chicago? Yeah. United Center, I believe.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Latest tally has Negreanu down more than $200,000 again. So it's probably extra frustrating. FizzGig, are you guys streaming the main with whole cards? No, not live, but I do believe GG has some coverage plans, and you will be able to see some whole cards.
3-bet pot on table 1, very deep, starting off around about 100K effective, if I'm not mistaken, and Doug hitting Daniel with the small raise on the 10-9-6 rainbow board. Jeff, strap yourself in, mate. This could be a big one.
Yeah, it goes check, and then Nate pops up on the river.
Jesus. Next was said, I see a 200K pot. Well, unless it's the old Jack 7 against Queen
it's just
Jack.
Jack.
Gonna be tough. 4 to a straight on table 2. 14K in the middle. Right, Doug's certainly gonna have some, you know, some 9-7s, some Jack 7s, Queen Jacks that raise flop. That's small. Around about 1/3. Get some value from some 2 pairs, some 10-8s, 9-8s, 6-8s of the world.
Ooh, there's the check raise.
Okay.
About 30K.
Doug calls to be a $80,000 pot. Certainly in a world of pain with his 2 pairs.
Yeah.
Chat, what's he got? Get your guesses in the chat. 9-8 makes sense, right? Raise flop. Get to see a free river card. Opponent's going to check to us at a high frequency.
Makes the call. There is a Jack 7 for Daniel Negreanu to take down an $84,000 pot.
Okay, boys and girls.
Hey.
All right.
Checking out the replay for this one.
Just drilling that 8 of
Yeah.
hearts river. Sorry, not 8 of hearts. Was it 8 of clubs?
Yes,
Yeah,
offsuit
clubs.
8. Setting the trap. Check raising and Polk making the call there.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these offsuit single Broadway cards, type hands, sorry, in DNegs pre-flop 3 betting range, so with the king 6-0 earlier on. See a lot deeper as well now, over 200 bigs effective at the start of that hand. Yeah, drilling that 8 of clubs river for the 200 big blind pot. They said, Henry, what stakes do you play online and how much do you think it's possible to make a year out of stakes? Play up to 2k PLO, although the rate that I've been going at recently, it won't be long until I get smacked right back down to low stakes.
At least you're being realistic with yourself.
Man, I've been getting spanked by Andrus Nemeth recently. So,
Work on your game selection.
Yeah, the OG, man. Listen, you got to sit with the best if you want to become one of the best.
That's true. That's true. You got to fight the good fight, as difficult as it may be. But that's got to be difficult.
It's an absolute animal, man.
Oh, I can't imagine.
You know, there'll just be days where he's just sat there on my left and my VPIP's like 12% because I'm like, I've got fucking Andrus sat on my left, so, you know. But yeah, tough to say, man. I don't have a large enough sample and online poker to be able to give you, you know, definitive answers to how much you can make in those games. But I would say some of the top ranks that are probably winning at a very substantial win rate, somewhere around, you know, 8 to 9 bigs, maybe in the low double digits. Yeah, I mean, going to be clearing, you know, 300, 400k a year.
Yeah.
I saw a very sexy graph posted by Veni Vidi the other day, up around about 6k, although there was a small 2550 sample in there. But if you take that out, I think he was still up like 450, 500k, you know, playing 10, 20 PLO.
Wow. It's pretty strong.
Daniel not slowing down.
Mm-mm.
This king of clubs turn. He's got a bit of heat, Jeff.
Betting 5,200. Polk making the call. 9 of hearts on the river, completing one of the flush draws.
Yeah, so I'd expect to see Daniel slow down a little bit on this river. Doug.
He does.
Gonna have...
Doug snap checks back. Negreanu with jacks. Those jacks are good.
Where's the update? Where's the update?
We just got one in a couple minutes ago that has Negreanu down about 170k. That was after that big 84k pot.
Okay.
So now down, you know, a little less than 150k.
Trying to keep
more,
up with,
but whatever.
With chat as well as focusing on the action.
If you have any questions for us, let us know. If you have any questions for Daniel Negreanu, let us know. I'll have an exclusive post-game interview with him whenever this session is done.
Yeah, that's a great shout, by the way. Chat, get some questions out there. Some things that have been keeping you up at night. Questions you'd like to ask the man on the virtual felt taking part in this high stakes feud. Obviously, don't ask him who his wedding guest list was. We already know that, courtesy of Jeff Platt.
I was there, yeah, next to Philhelm. You don't like to bring that up, though.
What's going on in this main event? Let's have a look.
Yeah, give us the latest.
Still 15 left, my man.
Still 15. Still Salas, chip leader.
Yes, sir.
That's why it's taking so long to
27K.
get down to 9.
Man, what a year, Chris. So Chris Purse is like 22, 23.
Yeah.
Ships the WPTs. Oh, well, I guess I'm out of makeup now. And that was at like the start of the year. he's like, yeah, I won 250K, but I only won about 30K out of makeup. And then it just goes on to win like $1 million so far this year online. Must be nice. Was planning on grinding post commentary sesh today, but I think I might just have some food and go to bed.
It's late for you, huh? What time is it?
10 past 4. Sorry, 4:10 for you Americans out there.
No, I mean we can understand that. I know we're regarded as not the most intelligent people, but 10 past 4, you don't have to say 4:10. I mean, come on.
I used to get the weirdest.
Give us a little respect.
What do you mean 4:30, Henry? What does that mean? Jeff, you've been paying people again. Chase Platt in the chat saying, thanks, Jeff. I enjoy your commentary. No matter who your partner is, that kind of feels like a slap in the face my way. And is that a family member that you paid?
No, his last name's actually Piat. If you look closely, I only say that because I only know that because I did the exact same thing when he was in an earlier stream. I'm like, oh, Chase Platt, my man. He's like, not my last name. Oh, yeah, that's close enough.
Oh, okay, right.
10s for Negreanu to take down a 10K pot on table 1, 25K in the middle. Table 2 runs out 7-7.
Reb saying, no, what confuses us is the 4:30. I apologize, my man. My bad, my bad.
King high for Doug Polk, and that'll get it done.
Wow.
Lindsay, good question. Can you ask Daniel what he has learned so far from this grudge match and if it will help his poker game in the future? Absolutely.
That is a great question. Especially as someone that is known for playing MTTs.
Right.
It's a part of the game that you don't really get to, well, in theory, practice that much. You can obviously study it a bunch, but you don't get to practice it as much as he obviously has been. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Daniel's played more heads up, no limit of these last 16 matches against Doug than he probably has in his entire career in terms of hand sample. So yeah, it's certainly going to help him in the future, I'd assume. He finds himself fortunate enough in some heads up spots for titles.
Sorry, Chase, last name pronounced Pyatt. He says, thanks for the shout out anyways. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. And he also says, Henry, I enjoy your commentary too. Don't be sad. Hey. Jeff just does well with lots of personality types. Thank you. Way too kind.
Appreciate that. Believe that is a friend of mine, Charlie Dunn, in the chat. What's up, Charlie?
Here we go, Charlie. Charlie's here. Ren's here. Jeff, do you play any cash games in Vegas these days? Not with COVID. Now I did. I played a couple live tournaments. Play a lot more tournaments than cash, but sometimes I like to sit down on a cash table, have a glass of wine, dust off some money. Jackson 8s for Doug Polk.
Yeah, the busted gutter for DNegs. So am I right in saying, so you obviously at the Poker Go studio where the first 200 hands of the high stakes feud was played at, you have this rapid testing system in place, right?
That is true for the players.
Okay.
So when they filmed High Stakes Poker, when they filmed Poker After Dark, when they filmed High Stakes Feud with Negreanu versus Polk, the players would come in the morning, obviously have to test negative to be allowed to play in the afternoon. So it was a small bubble of sorts at the Poker Go studio.
Do you mind me asking, Does that involve putting the cotton bud all the way up your nose to get that test done?
I think theirs was a throat swab. I think it was a throat swab in the morning for our players because they would come to the studio, the nurses.
Yeah.
And
Good luck
yeah.
getting me to do that. There's somehow
You don't
only
like the throat
4K
swab?
in the middle in that hand on
Yeah.
table 2, by the way. Yeah, I guess I prefer the throat swab versus the ram a cotton bud up your
See,
nose.
the rapid test is the best one where it's just barely up the nose, but they do both sides. That one's easy. The PCR that's like way up the nose is a little uncomfortable, to say the least.
Gamble saying, I am wholly confused on which one of you two monkeys I should actively try and troll more. Great job as always, gents. Thanks, Gamble. Blaze of Glory asks me how old I am. 26 years old, my man. Turned 26 about a month ago. I say a month ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it has been absolute hell. It's the bad end of the 20s.
Some people got the nose test, felt it in the brain. Some people got an easier nose test, like Ren. Alex's throat swab. Yeah, I always hated the strep throat test. Throat swab's very uncomfortable.
Thank you, Charlie, man. Appreciate it. Hope you and the family are well. Pappy said, Harry, did you play the WSOP main? I did not, my man. I did not play the main. We'll be playing it next summer.
There we go. In person, the real deal.
The real deal. I like to stare my opponents down a little bit. Not quite as intimidating and sexy as Alex Foxen, but
no, it's hard to be like that tank human being.
Bob said, how do you decide what level tournaments to play dependent on the size of your bankroll? I assume you mean buy-ins. I would not be the best person to ask, but from what I have heard, I think the 100 buy-in rule probably applies. But then, you speak to other people, they'll disagree.
Sure.
They got the go big or go home mentality. 20 buy-ins, you bink a tournament, you buy yourself a Porsche 911 like my man Jason Kuhn did. And depends, man. It depends. You can either knit it up like I did for most of my career, and then have to, jump in the commentary booth with you lot to make ends meet, or you could do what Jakun did and Ike did. Start firing all the 10Ks and 25Ks. And
both reasonable paths. And as Alex said, some people would say you need more than 200 buy-ins for these massive field tournaments with a ton of variance in them, especially if you really, really want to take poker seriously, play poker professionally, be prepared for some downswings, no matter how good you are or how well you're playing. Trip jacks for Doug Polk.
Can't say one for the boys. It's the best thing to do when you're getting killed and on a big downswing, but you feel like you're playing well, majority of the time getting it in ahead. I would be completely honest with you when it comes to a question like that and say that although it feels like you're playing well, there are probably some very obvious leaks in your game, at least from experience in the past when I've been on downswings like that, and I've been thinking, oh wow, I'm playing really well and I'm getting it in great. Sure, maybe you are running bad in the larger pots. The all-in EV graph is pipping, but look at the blind versus blind spots, man. Look at the 10 big blind pots. Look at the 15 big blind pots. Like how often are you check calling flops and then folding turns? That's 2-3 big blinds just there that you kind of being forced to to give away. So I would do some database reviews and just start looking at, you know, certain areas that maybe you've neglected in the past. You know, button versus big blind, small blind versus big blind, obviously depending on what you're playing. I'm talking from a cash game background, but I know I was losing way too much money out of the small blind until I kind of started having a look at my database and just quickly realized that I was just playing way too many hands from the small blind ultimately. And yeah, just by looking at that, and it took me all of 30 minutes to save myself, you know, about 10, 20 big blinds.
It's very easy to say, ugh, I lost all in with aces again, or ugh, I'm 0 for my last 10 all in flips.
Yeah.
But Tenner's point, maybe dive a little deeper, maybe take a look at all the hands, not just the elimination hands, not just the hands that you're running bad in. I mean, Henry, I play very well, you know, even through the downswings. I'm not doing anything wrong, so I'm just running bad in those spots. But for everybody else, it's good advice.
Yeah, I think you're running good in life, Jeff.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Running good in life and running bad on the tables when you're on a downswing.
Running good. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then playing good when I'm on an upswing. Now, it doesn't really have to do with running hot. Just playing so well.
Joshua said, "Here's my favorite commentator thus far, besides Jeff." Of course, appreciate the kind words.
Thank you, Joshua. Thanks for being here.
Joey said, "Henry, how much should you lose from the small blind in a big sample?" I'd have to look, and I don't want to risk firing up my HUD right now.
Oh yeah.
In case my laptop decides to
not handle that.
But I've always said, and I'll say it again on this stream, you know, if anyone ever just wants to like reach out and ask questions when it comes to poker or resources or what to study or just, you know, help in general, you can always reach me on social media. I'm pretty open to talking hands and just helping the community out, because the poker world has just given me so much over the years, and always trying to give back. So feel free.
Love that.
Jeff running above EV on Tinder, below EV.
yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, that's fine with me. And nobody text me their hand histories. No, I mean, I say don't do that because I would just give you terrible advice. So I'd be the wrong person to go to.
Don't get me wrong. I'm very transparent. If someone sends me a hand that is way above my pay grade, you know, whether it's like Hold'em or what have you, or a tournament spot, I'll be honest straight off the bat and just say, listen, I'm sorry, I don't know, but I'll try. I'll definitely try. Alex saying over the years. I know I'm young, man, but you know, I've been around a minute. 16k in the middle, by the way, on this double paired board. Missed the pre-flop action, but it looks like a 3-bet pot with a sizable C-bet in there. Around about half pot. So that to be 16k in the middle.
Polk leads small. Negreanu with a quick call as both of them rivered a king, but it's the king jack for Daniel Negreanu. Take down a nice pot. You can see our guys posted Henry's social media account info if you want to hit him up via the DM. Ask for some advice.
Slide
into the DMs.
Slide in. Yeah, sometimes it can get really monotonous. You know, you just get some people that will not take anything on board and they just keep sending the same old hand histories. But I try and I respond to everyone. Glenn said, "Do you only play 4-card PLO, Henry, or 5 and 6? 5 and 6 is my Achilles heel, my man."
Oh, is that how you give it away?
Oh, mate, this is how we give it away. You point me to the 4, 5, 6 game, and I'm there for 24 hours. I'm strapped in. You know, we're either going broke or we're going home with a new Tesla.
John in the chat says Henry is a good commentator, a nice mix between poker analysis and interaction with the chat. The interaction with chat is what keeps me coming back to this stream. That's what we like to hear. Thank you, John. Yeah, McKellar, they are approaching the 4-hour mark.
They are indeed.
About 9 minutes away from that. little over 4 hours is the longest that they have gone. Thank you, Clipnut, for the kind words.
Big pot are brewing on table 1. SPR less than 2, heading to this 3 flush. Let's just call it a flush completing turn card, boys and girls. Not this nonsense. Doug setting up a very natural river SPR with this third pot sizing.
Negreanu calls 41k in the middle.
That's a pretty bad river card for DNegs. Queen X now losing to King Jack, Ace King, King 9 with the heart.
All of it.
Yeah.
Negreanu folds.
Ship me the triangle, please, dealer. I'm all in, and a quick fold from DNegs.
RJ asks, Henry, have you played any short deck?
I tried.
Okay.
Yeah, tried and failed miserably. There's not much information out there. You have to be in the closed circles of some of the OG poker groups to kind of have the insight that they have. Your Ike Caxtons of the world, your Jason Coons of the world. I know those guys all kind of jumped on board. There's a lot of hype around it with the big Macau games. Speaking to Jason last week or a couple of weeks ago, and I believe how he got into it was Tom Dwan and Paul Poir were playing on this mobile app, and Jason was like, "Oh, can I join? Like your game, we play 3-handed." And Paul Poir was like, "No, this isn't Hold'em. This is this new game, short deck." And he just kind of went home, locked himself away for a month, and just started like studying this game because of just how juicy the big games in like Macau were. So I know those guys have dissected that game.
Yeah. Negreanu leading here for about 10k. Polk folds. Danielle says, I love the Friday happy hour, but Henry is my favorite commentator so far too.
Hey.
That's perfect. We'll take both.
Yeah, James, one of the main men behind the scenes, boys and girls, did reach out to me. I did say to him that unfortunately I'm kind of just going to be Jeff's backup man whenever the guys need me, because I've just been super burnt out recently. I want to take some time off, but yeah, always happy to obviously jump in if you guys need someone to some rogue chat and questionable banter, as well as some questionable hand analysis.
Thrilled to have you here for this one. I mean, you've been doing some long tournament streams and then some long Galfond challenge streams as well.
Yeah, and I mean, don't want to blow smoke up my own arse, but you can ask anyone around. I don't say no to anyone. I think that's kind of been my mistake up until now. Like the last 2 years, every offer that's come through the door, I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll jump in the booth, and obviously it does have an impact on my overall bottom line.
Sure.
When it comes to poker. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely, I'll jump in, boys and girls. I'll jump in. Josie, Henry, do you play any 08? I cannot stand the game, my man, unfortunately. I do apologize for the 08 fans out there, but how can you take a game as pure as Pot Limit Omaha and then just start chopping it up all the time just because you guys got the absolute raz of a hand pre-flop? No.
Robert says you're burnt out, but also moving to Vegas. I believe that's more of a poker player decision to move here with a little bit of a commentary influence. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be... so the last 2 years, it's been, I would say, 60% commentary and 40% poker.
Okay.
And the idea of moving to Vegas is 80% poker and 20% commentary.
Got it.
Because I just fell into it. I didn't start searching or trying to become a commentator. I went to a live event and they asked me if I wanted to jump in the booth, and then the phone started ringing. And it's been a wild 2 years, but I think I'm at that stage where I need to just focus a little bit more.
It's fair.
On yeah.
Takes a lot to admit it.
couple of small pots being exchanged between the two.
Reminder that tomorrow is the Super Millions final table. Not only can you sweat the action on Twitch with Rotterdam and Nananoku, but you can also bet on that final table within the GG client using the Poker Shares odds. Timothy Adams is the favorite for that one. If you haven't had a chance to try GG yet, you can choose your deposit bonus, either $100 in free tournament tickets or a 100% match up to $600. And in December, GG is giving away $6.2 million. Just giving it away. 1.3 million to the Russian Cash Daily Leaderboard. It's 40K a day there. 20K a day to the Spinning Gold Daily Leaderboard, Hold'em Daily Leaderboard, Omaha Daily Leaderboard. $2 million to all Interfold prizes. Jackpots all over the place in cash games. It's a beautiful thing. Check it out.
Yeah, chat. If you do tune in for that stream, make sure you ask Rotty. All right. So don't build it up. Just ask him directly. What is your favorite memory, or what is your favorite memory from Romania?
Okay.
All right.
Romania.
Just ask him that.
Okay.
I guarantee he comes back with drinking all night and dusting it off with Henry until about 9 a.m. and then getting scolded the next day for being late for commentary.
Oh, what was the gig?
We're at a Unibet Open tour.
Okay.
In Sanaya, just like a picturesque village, snowy mountains, the whole shebang. And we were playing this cash game with these locals, and me and him were just drink after drink after drink. It's fucking mental. And then I got absolutely binned for drinking all night and being a bit hungover.
That'll be a rough next day.
Yeah. Appreciate all the questions, boys and girls. I don't want to take too much away from the high stakes feud. You guys are here for Jeff, Doug, and DNegs. But if you do have any questions, like I said, feel free to fire me a message. I'll answer one. Daniel said, what sort of things do you enjoy in your downtime, Henry? Any fun hobbies? I've gotten back into reading recently, and I'm a big fan of swimming and what else do I like doing? Table tennis, golf if I can. That's about it.
Little golf, little ping pong. Producer Carlin says Rotterdam has told the story before on stream, but you got to get him to tell a story like that again. So definitely still ask about Romania tomorrow.
Great story.
And then Wednesday we'll be back right here, High Stakes Feud. Myself and Egyptian Patrick Tardif. Thursday we'll be back. Myself and Jonathan Little. Friday, happy hour. Come join us.
Hour. Milan, stop it, mate. All right, just you keep taking my money at 1 cent, 2 cent. Leave the rest to me. All right. A couple of small pots, boys and girls. Yeah, if you want us to start.
Slow last 10 minutes or so.
My boy Nate Gamble. He may have won 2 bracelets playing PLO 08. Say blasphemy, Henry.
Is that the Nathan Gamble?
It is indeed.
I saw he's going to try a no limit hold'em tournament on Sunday on WSOP.com. A 10K buy-in. I saw a guy by the name of Surf Bum registered for that one.
Yeah, just free money for everyone else. Just like
right. That's why I decided to play. Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to be the worst player in the... Oh, no, wait. There he is. There's Nathan Gamble. I'll be the second worst hold'em player in the field. That's obviously not true. Khaki T's in the mix as well. What's up, Khaki? Good to see you.
I said, hope you did some shit talking today, Henry. I am, man. I was talking shit about our heads-up match the other day.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the boys and girls at home that if you and I shared the commentary booth after about 30 minutes, we would be at each other's throats due to conflicting GTO, whatever you want to call it, ideologies, if you will. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you had a good session. I hear you were battling some very high stakes earlier on today.
Yeah, we want to hear what happened with Dan Bilzerian. You say end up winning a little. You talk in the chat with Mr. Bilzerian, the newest brand ambassador for GGPoker. We have eclipsed the 4-hour mark for this session. Kaki says, you think PLO is hard? I know it's for whales. I feel ya.
Oh man, me and Kaki definitely need to do some streams here. Just have
agree.
a pure, because it was the first time I actually met Kaki on Saturday. So I don't know about you, Jeff, but I don't like just going full guns a blazing when I meet new people. But I feel now that we've warmed up a little bit to each other,
Yeah.
We can start throwing out some name calling, some trash talking.
Yeah, you guys can go at it.
It would be a fun heads up battle for sure.
Unknown Prodigy, this seems like an unusually long stream. Yeah, I'd say we've had maybe 3 total that have hit the 4-hour mark.
That's what happens when I join boys and girls.
Right.
Up in the booth.
We know that you're set for the marathon streams. Danielle says, can we see a streamed Kaki T versus Henry match just for fun? I believe they've done it before, and I think they'll do it again. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas.
Was this a 3-bet pot? There's 3K in the middle. Was this a limped button strategy being implemented by Doug, which I find very unlikely? If anyone in the chat could let me know what happened pre, because I'm very confused. Doug raising flop 17K in the middle. SPR less than 3 going to the turn. That makes sense. Playing longer today due to taking next week off.
For sure. Putting in 4 sessions this week as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. Wouldn't be shocked to see DNegs fire out a block bet on this ace of spades river. If he 3-bet pre, I'm still very confused at the pot size on
We'll
the
pull
flop.
up the replay after this hand to give you a look.
Ace line good.
Oh. Polk had fought the ace-high flush draw and did river and ace.
Okay, so the pre-flop misclick. Doug opened to 9 and Daniel's misclick clicked it back to 14. That makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
That makes sense. That makes
a
it
little awkward.
It does, man. Listen, live misclicks are the worst. Online, you kind of just shrug it off. Live are the worst. That's a 12 in the main, boys and girls. Almost 50K locked up over
and
in that bad boy.
unfortunately, Henry eliminated in 13th. Your boy Chris puts.
My boy Chris puts. He can't win all the money. Well, apparently he can. He's trying to, at least, anyway.
Wins about 45K for his run. A good run at that. 3 more
yeah.
eliminations before the final table is set. Damian Salas, chip leader. That's fun.
The soul is real, man. Couple of good ideas being suggested in the chat. Don't say Kaki mentioned some fun idea when he wanted to practice talking to girls. Maybe you could discuss a strategy if you did commentate together, Henry. Kaki, you need help, mate. Is that what I'm to understand from Danielle? You haven't got the silver tongue that you seem to have on Saturday. Wow. What's going on? 20 G's in the middle. DNegs continuing for 3/4 on the river. Very interesting run out. Double paired board.
Polk in the tank. Makes the call. Negreanu had flopped the wheel. Nice little value bet from him.
I mean, That's one of those runouts where you just fuming, right?
Yeah.
Like you just
Session's
flop the
gone
joint.
poorly.
Yeah, and it just comes deuce
Double
three, the
paired.
double paired board. Still managing to find some value on the river. We're gonna have to do a trio one of these days, Chef. Me, you, and Kaki. That'd be an absolute laugh riot.
I would have a blast, an absolute blast on that one. I think I would just sit back and relax, enjoy the show.
Yeah, I think there's mandatory drinking stream for that one.
Dumbo says, Jeff, any new tips on how to stay single?
Wow.
Well played,
shit.
Dumbo. Well played. Nathan Gamble says, Henry's about to fall asleep on you, Jeff. I mean, it's like 5 a.m. where he is. Hard to blame the guy.
Gamble knows me well. I'm normally, we've been averaging 5.5 hours for the last 3 months. Very hyped coming in. Nathan's always asleep because he's been grinding 81, 60 until the early hours of the morning. And then 2 hours in, 3 hours in, I'll start falling asleep and Nathan will start getting hyped up. And, he thinks I want to fall asleep. I tell you what, that would be a fun duo. You and Mr. Gamble himself.
Nathan is great. Got to know him a little bit in the virtual sense during the summer, during his yet again fantastic World Series of Poker runs.
Kaki saying staying single is a legit issue.
Women play it too.
Oh man. John Wallace arriving late to the party, saying, Henry, you look like Neil from In-Betweeners. We spoke about that about 3 hours ago, mate. Thank you for your comment.
More than 4 hours in to session 16 of high stakes feud. Our latest tally, I should say, to the minute. Daniel Negreanu down about 165K.
So a rare 3-bet fold. 200 bigs effective, or thereabouts.
Chris Dougherty, how about Dan Bilzerian placed the winner of this feud? I'm sure Negreanu or Polk would agree to that one.
Sorry, was that Dan? Oh, okay. That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
I'm fairly sure Doug's already called him out saying, you want next, mate.
Yeah. As Dan Bilzerian did fire off the needle at Doug Polk after Polk was struggling early in this one. Says, congrats, heard you're killing the heads up match. Doug said, you want next, bud? I'd say let's go, but you aren't man enough to play without begging for odds. And then I love this from Doug. Who tweeted, lose 220K in a session to a man flatting queens versus an open, and then go on Twitter and at Bilzerian talking shit. This is my life now.
That's what you get for coming out of retirement.
Yeah, well played.
John said, Henry, I was late to the party, but can you do the robot like Neil? I could try, my man. Could try. If you sign up to my OnlyFans, I will try and put some content out there for you guys. Just $6.99 a month.
Oh, is that all? Any premium deals?
That's it. Dan Watson said, I find it hilarious when they bet $400 when they're sitting on 100K. Well, it's a very common c-bet sizing. It's quarter pot, 1/5 sizing in single raise pots. No need to just start c-betting 10K just because you're 100K effective. It's not how it works.
We're down to 11 in the World Series of Poker main event after the elimination of Carter Swidler. So 11 players remain, 11th and 10th make 50K. Final 9 make at least 75K and are off to Razvadov next week. Danielle asks, who would be the best wingman? Me, you, Henry, or Kaki?
I reckon Kaki. I mean, he's got the accent, and
yeah, he's got the accent, got the stash. Obviously, there's no fear there.
Exactly. It's just like, have you met my friend Jeff?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Just starts cracking out this story. So Jeff was wrestling this fucking alligator.
yeah.
Oh man. John said DNegs should go for an all-out. Boys, I'm down for it. If I can order a pizza and crack open a cold one, if they want to play these final 5K hands out today, I'm down. If Jeff wants to take a break, I'll hold the fort.
No, I would do it with you. I'd be there with you every step of the way. Like you said, if we could get some food.
Oh man, big bet on the turn from DNegs. 200 bigs, just shy of 200 bigs effective. So I should say at the start of this hand, and see the 6-5, which is certainly part of both players' ranges. Popping a gut shot, picking up a double gut shot. Going to be part of DNegs double barreling range as well. Seen those showdown and decent amount of equity gets through on the river.
Apple Juice says Kaki's not a wingman. He'll steal the girl from you. I don't see that happening. Mel, smooth commentary from both of you this session. Thank you very much. Big fan of Henry's cousin Kevin also. He's loved in Ireland. Thanks. No, thank you. Thanks for being here. Leafs fan, can Ahmad please tell me why I just got banned? Please and thanks be greatly appreciated. Well, you're not banned if you're here.
Appreciate that, Mel. Yeah, I had some pasta before the stream. It's like, I'm gonna just eat something that's pretty filling.
Yeah, that was smart.
It's like, it's gonna be like a 2-3 hour affair. 4 hours, 15 minutes later, boys and girls, we're still here. To send a message to the HR department of GG. It's like, it wasn't fed.
So it's not in the contract. You're fighting the good fight. Alex, speaking of food, Jeff, are you jelly you haven't gotten Jack in the Box yet? No, I don't think I could handle some Jack in the Box, although we did send some off to Brent 2 Fridays ago. I think he got pretty sick from the tacos, but GG paid for that one, which we appreciated. Dave says Jeff asked Dan Bilzerian for Tinder help. Oh.
7's good.
7's good.
Antonio saying Henry Kilbane stared at me at the urinals at WSOP 2017. That is a straight up lie. I was not at the World Series in 2017, mate.
Fake news.
I call. Nice bluff. There's a question from David saying, how many hands have they played so far? So I believe, and Jeff could correct me if I'm wrong, start off today around about 7,800 hands in, 7,500 hands in.
Yeah, a touch less than 7,500 hands coming into the day.
And I followed that up with what's the longest session they've played? This one, mate. I believe this.
Yeah, I do believe it is this one. The longest session that we had before that was a Monday session 10. They played 852 hands, and that was in about 4 hours, maybe a touch more. We're at about 4 hours and 10 minutes right now.
Yeah.
So this is a lengthy one.
May see some dots in the chat. DNegs DC'd?
You did see a ...
No, I just saw him. So I'm assuming he clicked sit out next big blind and then maybe unclicked it because WSOP was asking him whether he wants to post his big blind, hence the time bank and then sit out. May see some dots now. May see them go on for another day, boys and girls. I'm happy.
Right.
Way.
Who knows? We're here either way. If they are done for the day, we will have Daniel Negreanu here with us. And we'll keep it fairly quick since he did just put in the 4-hour session. Jeff Platt and Henry Kilbane here with you. So we won't keep him for a 60 minutes type interview, but we'll be sure to fire off some questions. I know you guys had some good ones in the chat. So we'll wait and see if they're back to work, or if they are done for the day. They are off tomorrow. They're playing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then taking next week off. Daniel Negreanu down 155K for the session, which puts him down for the challenge, the overall challenge, about $670,000. And Henry, it's been a bit of a grind, I would say, for the last hour or so.
Yeah, it has been a real grind today for DNegs. Started off well. So he lost that 82K pot, which I want to say. No, sorry, there was the Kings versus Jack 9. That was the other big all-in call situation. But yeah, the river flush against the river straight, but they managed to just grind it back a little bit. It was break even, up 10, up 20 for a little bit. And then, just there was that 1 hour slot where everything seemed to go Doug's way. We had the flop top pair versus flop bottom 2 for heaps. A couple of other big hands as well. And I'm sure we'll get to hear some insights to DNegs. John said, Henry, show DNegs your robot. That'll cheer him up. I'm going to pass, man. I'm going to pass.
I'm going to pass on that one.
But if I ever get invited to Jeff's wedding.
Yeah, and that'll do it since Negreanu is gone from the table. So his day is done. Our unofficial numbers have Negreanu down about $155,000. We are waiting to chat with Daniel. We have an exclusive post-match interview with him every single session. We do greatly appreciate his time. Every session, win or lose.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Fair play to the man. There's no way. My friends were like, oh, Henry, you want to talk about some hands after I had a rough session? I'd be like, excuse me, mate. Jog on. It's not happening.
We certainly appreciate it. It'd be weak if he only came on, after the wins.
Yeah,
but he's given us the time.
I guess
every single session. Our final, I guess we call them the unofficial results, but we have Daniel Negreanu down $154,142 for the session. Puts him down overall $668,142.
Appreciate
so we keep saying it, but there's a long way to go. We do see Daniel in the waiting room, so within seconds, he will be able to join us. Connecting to the audio, and boom, there we have him. There he is, right there, Daniel Negreanu. So Daniel, let's get right to it. We'll get you out of here quickly tonight. It looked like a grind to us. What was it like for you today?
Looks like you had to tag somebody in there to do commentary.
Yeah, we got stuck with Henry Kilbane, and then I took a quick break, and producer Carlin jumped in when Henry needed a break. It was a 4-hour session, man. We need a lot of breaks.
Good teamwork. Yeah, no, I think I was stuck about 50, 60K more than I ended up losing 164 buy-ins on the session. It was definitely a battle. I could have quit after 2 hours because things were not going, but I felt good. I felt like I was playing well. The big disconnect for me has been just like having a pair and a flush draw, and by the river having more than just a pair and a draw. Wins. I've just missed a lot of draws, that's tough. You have open and straight draw on the turn, you have flush draws, you have all this stuff. So if you hit those hands, you can get paid big, and you keep putting in a lot of money to hit them, and then you miss them. You feel silly sometimes. I ran a couple bluffs that didn't work. He had a hand he had to call with or whatever. So, but overall, I think it was a good battle, and I know it was crazy. Not a lot of all-ins pre-flop, and I can't remember really winning in many big pots. Like I didn't win any big pots. Well, I certainly didn't win a single pot if the money went in before the river. Not one. I don't know if he did, but I don't know. It's been weird. There's not been a lot of all-in clashes pre-flop, and you would expect that.
But I imagine, Daniel, your mind is in a better place than it was, say, week one, where you might have gone down 200K and just bounced after 2 hours. So extending the session continues to be proof that you do feel more and more comfortable here with how you're playing.
Yeah, no question. I felt like that's the thing. It's the hard part is to put results aside, the hour and a half and how that went, and just be like, all right, you're going to play. If you feel emotionally stable enough to do so, and you feel like you're playing well, then, plow ahead. I quit just now because this is scary to me, and this has happened before, but I'm in the middle of a hand on 2 tables, and both screens just went poof, blank. So I don't know what happened in the one hand on the left, which would really suck if I folded a winner. But on the right, I guess it was check, and I had the best hand with an 8. But yeah, not sure. I think I might have. Did you guys see on the very last hand, did I fold pre-flop?
You didn't post your big blind. We were quite confused because it looked like, there was like a glitch with WSOP or something. It just your time bank came up, but there was no money actually put into the pot. It just sat you out.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, that's nice to know, because every hand counts, and long way to go. We played about 800 hands today. So yeah, I'm still waiting for that sun run. I know it's coming. 3 wins in a row that were very small. Lost that all back in one session here to start the week, but we got 3 more this week that I'll be gearing up for. And I know the sun run will come. The sun run will come, people. I will win 5 or 6 buy-ins in a session again. It's been a long time since I've won anything more than like 1. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You seem really good though. Like, you seem really happy. Morale seems to be high, especially after a 4-hour session today. I mean, is that something you and your team have been working on, like just mindset and just focusing on the grind ahead? Like you said, the EV will balance out in the long run. It's just a grind getting there,
Well, actually, the most frustrating thing is that the EV doesn't even out in the long run.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I guess so. Over that sample, yeah.
If that were true, I'd be stoked. I'm like, oh, so the all-in EV set back, nice, but it all breaks even. I guess that's being my biggest lesson. Is I thought 25,000 hands was a lot of hands, but after playing now 8,000 hands and seeing just how much variance is involved, and again, I want to reiterate this because people think I'm like crazy. I don't necessarily say that's the only reason I'm losing. I can say with question that the reason I'm down as much as I am is variance. It's not debatable. It's not like, if the cards were breaking even, I would not be down this much. He's not beating me 20 big blinds per 100 or something ridiculous like that, or whatever it is right now. After an all-in EV. So for me, I don't work with my team on mindset stuff. That's something I'm pretty good with. I do meditation. I journal, post session, and I look at like what we're doing. Did I make good decisions throughout? I think I did. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing is I go over the session, try to think like, what big mistakes did you make? I think one maybe check, raise, bluff might have been maybe not so good on the turn. Maybe not so good, maybe, but it made sense to me. And here's the thing that they do is like anytime I make a play that's kind of goofy, they're like, all right, well, explain your logic. So do that. I have a reasoning behind what I'm doing. And they'll either say they buy it or that's just bad. And, that's just the way it goes. But I think, I just don't think that I connected enough with big hands. I started to make a little bit of a headway near the end there. But yeah.
I mean, if when you're flopping top pair versus over pairs in, like 3-bet, 4-bet pots, and stacks go in, which is obviously unavoidable at these low SPR spots. There's just like nothing you can do. And like you said, when you're bricking these brick draws, like flush draws, straight draws, and just bricking time after time, it's obviously very disheartening. But I'm sure things will. Yeah.
Well, there was a hand you bring up now that I think about it was when I had Queen 10 of Hearts. I 3-bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it came Queen 5 deuce, and like in a 4-bet pot, and you've already put in 31 bigs, you're going to put the rest of your money in almost certainly. And I checked it back, so I was feeling really confident. Turn was like a low straight card that presented 2 flush draws now.
Yep.
And bet, and then the river was the king of diamonds, which brought the front door flush draw, hits ace king. I don't think he has like king 10 or king jack ever, unless it's spades, which it could be. But I'm not folding here. I thought maybe I could get hero called, but I don't know. Maybe in retrospect, I'm supposed to check that queen. But if I check the queen, am I supposed to fold it? I don't know. I guess that's one that the solver will let us know. I think probably actually betting the queen on the river when the king of diamonds came. But if it is a mistake, I imagine maybe it's 2 big blinds in EV, 3, maybe. I don't know. It can't be that big.
Daniel, I want to get to our 2 most popular questions from the chat, and then perhaps I'll let Henry wrap things up with a question or 2. So number 1, everybody wants to know what Doug had in that hand where you rivered the straight with the Jack 7. If you remember that one.
Yeah. So he didn't have what I think he had.
Okay.
9s and 8s.
Okay.
So he was clearly very curious about my check raise. And I think if I'm Doug, I think, the logic is if I had just the 7, I'm not always so apt that deep to just check raise with just the 7. So for him to lose, he's probably looking at just combos of like Queen Jack and Jack 7, which there's not a shit ton of those, right?
Right.
That's what he did. He broke down the hand. It's like he's never going to look at like 8s and 9s and be like, oh shit, he had 10s up. It was like my hand is like when I check raise the river, I have to have a straight or nothing. So the question is then when you break it down is how many straights do I have? Do you think I check raise just the 7, or do I have to have Jack 7 or better? If I have to have Jack 7 or better, well, you're looking at 16 combos of Jack 7, 4 pure combos of Queen Jack suited, 20, and then some Queen Jack offsuit that 3 bets at a lower frequency. So not a shit ton of value there. And I guess for bluffs, there's, that's the calculation I'm sure he went through in his head. And he ultimately said, you know what? Maybe old man is speeding. And this time, I was actually driving the limit. And I had a qualified hand.
I want to give Lindsay Copeland credit in the chat for asking this one. And there were a bunch of variations on this. Can you ask him what he has learned so far from this grudge match and how it will help his poker game in the future, perhaps in multi-table tournaments, for example, moving forward?
Yeah, so I sort of touched on it before, but this is absolutely it by a long shot. When you play heads-up poker and hands are going boom, 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 the variance in the beats, it's like, it can drive you up. It's insane. Like, absolutely, I haven't played this. It is completely bonkers, the sort of streaks you can go on. So when I go back to playing like an 8-9 max, tournament or whatever, like the beats are they're so dwarfed in comparison. Like bad run. How about a bad run where you just burn through like 5 buy-ins in 23 minutes with like, setup stuff like that. The poker, when you have a setup hand, the money goes in a higher percentage of the time than it's going to be in an 8 or 9-handed. You can be a little more cautious. You have a much tighter range of hands that you're opening with, that you're calling with. Heads up, you're playing like Queen 6 offsuit always.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, right? Like you don't have that decision in a full ring game. You can wait for good cards, but like you basically cannot fold Queen 6 offsuit. You can fold it to a 3-bet. Sometimes you can 3-bet it yourself and all kinds of craziness. But just when you see that and you know that you're supposed to be playing so many hands, especially online too, because online so many hands get played. So the amount of variance that happens in 1 hour is like you're also playing 4 times the hands as you would be live. And coupling that with heads up, it's just like it's absolutely bonkers riding the variance train. And I'm really looking forward to my Sun Run because the Sun Run's going to be fun. 7, 8 buy-ins will actually make the wine taste better.
Make the wine taste better. Daniel, I don't want to keep you too long, but I did have one question that I really wanted to ask you, and it's something to do with how over the last few sessions you've seemed to have introduced 6 or 7 really unique sizes post-flop. And I was curious about whether or not that was something that you guys had looked at as a team, or whether that's something that's just developed naturally into your game and intuitively with time.
Well, the part of the plan was always to introduce new sizes. And I've said this before in post games, is like when you're limited, I only had 4 weeks really to study this.
Yeah.
What is like, all right, let's focus on 2 sizes we can master, right? So you have a full grasp of 20 and 75% pot, right? Obviously that's not optimal, but it's better than me. It was better than me trying to dance and do all these different sizes without any sort of, real do it. So yeah, introduce like a 1.5x pot, 2x maybe occasionally, but the other ones we've introduced is like a 40% pot, a 33% pot, and that's basically roughly it. Like I don't have hotkeys on. I know he's using hotkeys to give me the exact, so I'm often just rounding up or whatever.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Okay, I want to bet 40 here. I'll be like, all right, just click up 1. It's 42. And the other sizes difference too was obviously, one of the things I had to look at more is because we've been playing longer sessions, there's more deep stack play, is what changes when you're 200 big blinds deep. And there's definitely sizing changes, 3 bets and stuff like that you want to look at. And you look at, you watch guys like Linus Love, some of the best in the world, and, you pick up stuff. You notice, all right, well, this guy 3 bets smaller when it's deeper. It opened up a little Pandora's box for me of insight. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I see why. It's logical. So yeah, just continuing to evolve. Felt really good about it. I say this every time. Felt really good about it. Yeah. All right. We're back at it Wednesday. No, I'm not discouraged. hopefully the only concerning thing is that I put $1 million in my account. You know, you don't want to have to go back to the Caesar's Palace and deposit more. Hopefully Wednesday runs hot.
Sounds good to us. So we'll see you then. Thanks for the time tonight, and enjoy some vino.
I'm not going to drink wine tonight. I got to study.
Okay, tomorrow you'll get to the
Good
wine
man.
eventually
Good
at some
man.
point this week. Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, there he goes, Daniel Negreanu. We will see him on Wednesday. Sessions coming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So finally, Henry, sum it all up for us. How would you describe session 16 of High Stakes Feud?
Oh wow, you've put me on the spot, Jeff.
Right on the spot, but you're
Right
such a
on the
pro.
spot.
I know you can handle it.
You know, there's some hands that we're going to look back and they're going to make the highlight reel for the entire challenge, not just today's session. And yeah, you know, it did seem that there was a bit of heat at the start. It looked like DNegs was off to a bit of a flyer and then just kind of got slapped in the face by the deck. But I love that ending by Dad, who's just like, no, I'm not drinking wine. I've got to go and study. You know, the man is still hungry for it. Yeah, he still wants to go after it. He's not counting himself out, and I think that's really important. And just taking time away tonight, tomorrow, go back to the drawing board, look at some of the hands played today. Like you said, you know, that Queen 10 hand, great spot to look at. You know, are we just meant to be check folding that hand pure, that combo? You know, so he's going to look at spots like that, and hopefully, you know, plug some of these the potential leaks in his game. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this week, man.
We're looking forward to it as well. He's not going to drink some wine, but I'm going to go drink some wine, and you're probably going to go to sleep. Thanks so much for being here, Henry. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
You got it. All right, that's Henry Kilbane. I'm Jeff Platt. Thank you all so much for watching. We genuinely appreciate it. Have a great rest of the night or morning or whatever it is, wherever you are, and we'll see you Wednesday for the continuation of High Stakes Feud. Good night.